Hey there everyone, here and today we are going to start a new topic. Our today's topic is forms. Forms in HTML, that how we can create forms in HTML, and later we will style them by using CSS, but right now we are going to learn the markup of forms and the different attributes and elements of form element. Okay, form is an element in HTML, and later we will in CSS, when we will start our CSS, then we will learn how to style the form and all the nitty-gritties of those things. First of all, let me show you forms are very important. Okay, this is my Bootstrap project I have created, and right now I think this is the best example to show you about the forms. I'm not going to promote this video of mine. I have this sit on YouTube, but I'm not promoting it. I'm just helping you guys that the use of forms, or how we can use the form. So first of all, this search box, I have made this search box using form element. Then here down below in the contact section, all these three sections, like name, email, and message, and there is a submit query button. All these things I have made with the form element or the form tag by using the form element or the form tag. Okay, so let's get started how we can work with the form element. So first of all, I've already created a heading for this forms in HTML. And now what we are going to do, the definition of the form element is that it defines a form element defines a form that is used to collect in user input. Okay, so we use, for sure we use this form element to collect input of any kind. Like if the user want to search anything, they can use this search box. If they want to contact, then they use this search, then this section, the contact section, and for sure they have to mention that who the user have to mention that who the user is, the email address for reply, and the message, whatever the user want from the website owner, or from the like it is used in online form, in online shopping, whatever. So it is used for inquiries and queries, whatever the user want, they can use a form. Okay, so let's get into it and start it. We start the form with the form element or the form tag. It has two, like it is in pair, the opening and the closing tag. Okay, within this form, let me go with the first name. And if you guys remember, we have studied this break tag, line break tag. Then I'm using input element, and I'm going to say type. Okay, I'm using this type in the input element. Like what should be the type of this form which I'm going to create. So its type would be text. I'm using it in double quotes, and then I should say it should be a name. Okay, and first name, and then I want to close this tag, and here, and here I just want to go with the line break. Why I'm using this line break? If I don't use this line break, then everything would be very messy. Everything would be in one line, okay, or in line we can say. But right now, by using the break tag, things should be separated by different lines or a kind of a block. Okay, later we will study inline and the block system, but right now just keep it in mind that this BR tag or this line break, it is going to break the line. This line should be break here, and it moves to the next line. Okay, now the last name, again line break, I want to have input type, and this type is also text. Then again here I want to use the name. This name would be last name, close, and the form as well. Okay, let's save it. I'm using VS Code editor. As I've mentioned before, I'm using the live server of my VS, and here we are. So this is the title, heading, forms in HTML. This is the first name. We use the BR tag here, and it brings this input element here. So we have this input element here. Then again we use the break tag, BR tag, and then next line, and this is the form. Okay, now how we can use some other things also within this form. So we can use the radio buttons, the checklist. So let's go and use the radio buttons within this form. For the radio buttons are for the selection. Like if we want to select something, then we can use the radio button. After the code, you will understand more about the radio buttons. So let me add the line break here, and here I want to say input, the type, and here the type is not text. Here the type is radio. Look, this IntelliSense of my VS Code, it is telling me that what should be the type of this input. So right now it's not showing me the type, but I'm going to write here. Look, you guys can see it clearly. The IntelliSense of my VS is telling me that it should be a radio or a range. So it is a radio button. The type of this input is radio, and I want to name it as gender, and I want to use a value. Okay, I'll explain the purpose of this value later, but right now for this value I'm going to say male, and here I just want to say male and a line break. Let me tell you what this male is going to do. This male is going to be display here, same as my last name or first name. Okay, here should be the buttons, but it is going to tell that this is a male or female or whatever. You guys will understand when I will show you this in the browser. Again, the type would be radio, name, gender. Okay, my mistake here. Let me go with my double quotes. Okay, and the value of this would be female, and okay, that's it. Right now I don't want to go with other things. Just for the explanation purpose, I'm using male and female, and in future when we will start working with the projects, I'm sure that I will explain this and we will use all these things within the project. Okay, so sorry I didn't. Okay, I saved it and it is here. So these are the radio buttons, male and female. If I click here, then you guys can see there is a small black dot here. Okay, so you can see this small black dot, which means that this male is selected. But if we want to select it something by default, or when the user saw the form, when the user will see the form, he or she will get something default value. So that default value we can give by writing here checked. Okay, let me save it. I checked the female. Okay, before I clicked on the male radio button, but now I check the female, and you guys can see that the female button is checked. We can change it if we want. If the user is a male, then he can switch to the male, but if the user is a female, then she can move to the female button, right? I hope that it is not difficult and I am explaining it well. So let's move on and let's go to another button type, and that is submit button. Submit button defines a button for submitting the data, the form data to the form handler. The form handler is server page, typically with a programming language where we can use PHP, Java, or C# or any other programming language. Okay, so the submit button will work there more. Right now we are not. In future, I have planned to prepare the programming languages, also the tutorial of programming languages. But right now, for this video or for this purpose, I don't think that we need to add that, but I'm just going to explain you that submit button. Like if here in our project, you can see there is a submit button. This button is not going to do anything. Okay, it's just for it is because it is a design, so in the design it's not going to do anything. But if we fill the form and we use the programming, and suppose we use PHP in the back end, so this button will surely work and send the data to the server and get the information and all those things. The backend things will happen there. But right now we're just going to create this submit button. It is not going to function. Okay, it is not going to work, but it will give us the way, or let us know that how we can use it. Okay, so I'm going to use, let me use a line break here, and here I'm going to say input type, and this input type is submit, and it hasn't value name, sorry. Okay, we are not going to give it a name, but only the value. Oops, and the value is submit. Okay, let me close it, save it, sorry, and go back to the browser, and here we have a submit button. So you guys can see that when I click the button, it refreshes my page, my browser page. Okay, look, and so HTML form is almost it's done. There are two more things, two attributes, like many attributes, but the two attributes, the main attributes, one is target and action, which are more useful when we use any programming language. So right now we are not using that, and I think it's enough for this lesson. In the next lesson I will cover the form elements. So let's stop it here and see you in the next video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, and you can subscribe the channel, because I am going to bring more videos and more tutorials in the future. If it is helpful, then you can subscribe it. Okay, it will help me also. And bye for now, see you next time. Hasta la vista and ciao ciao.